And Mr. Samuel Lituba, welcome to KBC Channel 1. Mr. Lituba, welcome.
Thank you.
And, let's start with you, Secretary General, as I move back to my seat. How did you get to pick up WoodBall, a sport that we can say is just about 32 years old? It's one of the youngest sports in the world, so to speak. And how did you catch up with it and eventually bring it to Kenya?
The WoodBall is a sport that started in Taiwan, China, and it's a sport which I came across. Actually, one of my colleagues had gone to a game outside Kenya, and so he was introduced to the game of WoodBall, which is very similar to golf, as you have correctly said. And so when they came back, they started off the game. Actually, I'm not really a founder of the game. I found the game being run by two gentlemen, Wahome and Awaringo. But later on, they handed over to me because they were too busy with other sports. So I took over. From 2011, we had our first competition in Uganda for the Africa University Games. And that's how I got into the sport. I just love the sport. Apart from organizing, I like playing the sport. Mm-hmm. It's a sport for all ages, young people, old people, yes.
Now, let's now come down to what we're talking about, the surfaces that WoodBall is played on. Can be played on grass, can be played on turf, as in case of an indoor scenario, but it can also be played on a beach. You could tell us about the variations.
Well, of course, the ground is different in all these cases. So the way you play may vary just slightly, but mainly the game is played in the same way. So we have the normal WoodBall, which is played on grass, preferably. You can play also on marram, but preferably on grass, because grass is friendly to the equipment, to the balls. But when you play on marram, the marram eats the ball. After a while, the ball becomes smaller. But then the other major sports event we have is the beach WoodBall. Yeah, and even Kenya has participated in one beach WoodBall World Cup that was held in Uganda in 2018, and our people performed very well. We got several medals, silver and bronze. At that time, we were not able to compete for the gold, but since then, we have been able to win several gold medals, yes.
Okay, so when preparing this course, the different surfaces, marram, grass, and beach, what are the considerations given? Now,
for the grass, we need a total of about 700 meters. So some of the courses, the fairways as you call them, some are straight, and the shortest is 30 meters. But the longest, the straight ones, is 130 meters.
So like what is on our screens right now is, that is a straight one.
Yes.
Which is about 130 meters. That is across an entire football field.
Yes, right across the football field. So 130 meters. And the wider, the longer it is, the wider it is. So normally it's from 3 meters wide up to 10 meters wide. Yeah, so you can decide depending on the length of the fairway and the difficulty, because each ground is different. So the difficulty determines how wide the fairway will be. Okay, then some fairways turn to the left, others turn to the right. Yeah, so those are shorter fairways, but now it becomes complicated because you have to hit the ball with exact power so that it stops right at the corner. And then you head to the gate and finish. The gate is a small goal as you had mentioned earlier.
Well, and talking about the gate and that, we've got two coaches with us, Stephen Wendwa and Titus Mboya. And Stephen and Titus, let me just request you that you set up the equipment so that you could take us through, WoodBall 101 in the practical way, so that we can understand every piece, every equipment that is used and how it works and how to play around that. Now, when it comes to organizing this, Lituba, let us now take a look at how it's played. Is considering golf. We know, for example, if you go to Muthaiga, they'll tell you it's a par 71 course. If you go to Karen, they will tell you it's par 72. You go to Nyali, they'll tell you it's par 71. You go to, say, Railway Golf Club in Nairobi, it's a 9-hole, but they'll tell you it's a par 72. So how do you then measure the length of a course?
Okay, so actually we use the pars, but I only see them being used during the World Cup. Yeah, so each fairway is measured with a par 5, par 4, and so on.
So being a par 5 means you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, yeah,
on
to
a
score.
On a fair standard to score.
Yes. But you know, the other thing with WoodBall is that you have it measured in terms of there's a rope put to demarcate how wide the area is. So if you go outside the demarcated area, you're added 1 extra stroke.
That's much like an out of bounds golf.
Yes, that is an out of bounds also in WoodBall, because the person who created WoodBall was a golf player. So he borrowed a lot from golf. Yeah, so once you go outside, you're added 1 stroke. And the person with the least number of strokes is the winner.
So how many fairways do you have in a WoodBall game?
In a WoodBall game, you have 12 fairways, which you must complete. But in depending on the event, you can play a multiple of 12. 12, 24 or 36. Yeah, so normally when you have a major event, you play the first 24 gates, that is 12, 12, and then the best 12 out of that group goes on to the finals, which is another 12, making a total of 36 gates.
Wow, 3 rounds of it, and you've got to go through. Now, let's take a look. Stephen and Titus. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
Good morning, and Titus, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, now, let me hand over to you, and what I would like you to do is to introduce us to the equipment that is used in the game of WoodBall. And if I need, having the sport having been borrowed a lot from golf, do I need a caddy or a caddy for myself? Do I need different clubs for different lengths of the fairway? Take us through that. Stephen, you can start.
Yeah, as you can see, what I'm holding is a mallet. This is a mallet. We use it when we are playing this game. And as you can see, at the tip of it, we have something like a bottle. This actually...
So, Stephen, you can actually just look directly at the camera. They will show you the camera. That's, yeah?
Yeah, as I'm holding, this is a mallet.
Yes.
And I have a ball. The ball is wooden. The ball is wooden. And the mallet is aluminium.
Okay.
Yeah, and we still have a gate. This is our goal post. When we are playing, we have to score through that gate. Yeah, what I can say, we just have those equipments.
Okay, so let's, Tom and Titus, you could just lift that gate so that we can have a good look at it. Before you give us a demonstration of how it actually is played, you could lift that and just face the camera, and so that we can see how it works.
Yeah. So this is the gate, and you can see it looks like the wine glass. This is the goalkeeper for WoodBall. When WoodBall was created, the founder of WoodBall one day was invited to a party where his friends were celebrating. So what they were drinking was the Taiwan beer. You can see this is the Taiwan beer. So while they were drinking the Taiwan beer, the guy decides to, when he was idle, he was swinging with a wine glass in his hand. So he thought of, what if this one becomes a new sport? So while he was doing so, you remember on the staircase where there is the wooden staircase, at the end there was something that fit exactly in his hand. So that is where he took, what if this one becomes my ball? So originally on the ground, when we are playing, we have nails or metal protruding over here so that we stick the gate on the ground. But for the purpose of today's demonstration, we have some mechanisms here where we are taking it on the ground and using our stones so that the gate becomes firm. So the only way, the reason as to why the gate is suspended, the wine glass is suspended, is that when you score, even if it's from far, the gate says cheers. And just like people celebrate and say cheers. Yes.
Wow. So, there you are. And now, Stephen, having been given the description of the courses that people have, and the fact that you've got a fairway, one can be straight and you could have a dog right or a dog left, then how do you then hit the ball so that, such that it's, number one, can hold a straight line or it can curve?
Yeah, when you go to WoodBall, it needs 100% concentration. It's a game of mind. It's not a game of using your energy. For example, if I want to stay on the course, I have to make sure I concentrate while playing. That is, when I enter in a fairway, I have to place my ball at the center of the fairway. I'm just imagining. Then I come behind the ball. I can go down, make sure the mallet is straight. Then, when you go to hit, you have to concentrate fast. You have to make sure while hitting the ball, it goes straight. So, this game needs 100% concentration. You cannot go there while you have stress. You're going to get 144 strokes instead of 34 or 39. Thank you.
All right, Titus. How then, do you keep, your strokes in line and also help you concentrate? Because from what we've seen from Mwendwa, we've seen one stroke that has gone and hit the foot of that gate. So as you get to the gate, how then do you, how many chances would you have at a gate? And can you do it from any side?
Yeah, with WoodBall, you're allowed to score from both sides. For example, the ropes we'll be using, they will give you some like 2.5 meters behind the gate. We call it the buffer zone. So what you should always do as you begin, this is what I always tell the WoodBall beginners, that when you play WoodBall, when you approach the gate, it's a song I always sing: closer to the gate, reduce the energy, closer to the gate, reduce the energy. Because in WoodBall, in the 12 fairways, accumulatively, the one who has the less strokes becomes the winner. And it pains me so much because in 2019, we lost to Uganda just with only 2 strokes. And they went everywhere as champions because they just beat us with 2 strokes. So for a beginner, you see the mallet, the way it is painted black. This is what you do. You hold your hand down. For me, I hold the right one. Then the left one, I support it here. So what you should want to do, you only create, you see, an inverted triangle. Then from the ball to the mallet, back to the player, another inverted triangle. Okay? So WoodBall is more of mathematics again. So when you do so, ensure the ball is in the middle of your feet. Let me use this one so that I show you better. It's in the middle. Then also from the ball to your 2 feet, want to see an isosceles triangle. wale walihepa hesabu leo watakiona. An isosceles triangle. So when you master
an isosceles triangle has got two equal two sides. Mm-hmm. Yes, and if you drop a perpendicular line from the top, you got two right angle triangles.
Yes.
Nilipita hesabu.
Sikufanya
mathematics. So I understand geometry.
When you have an isosceles triangle from the ball to your 2 feet, yes, and also from the ball, the mallet to the player, another triangle, then when you invert also your hands from this edge to the other side back to where you're holding, it's another triangle. And then, assuming you are hitting 130 meters straight, mm-hmm, you raise it, and then your shoulder also dictates where you're going. For example, if your shoulder is pointing away from the gate, it means you will not score. Then you come and hit straight, okay? Because people score with one even on that 130 meters. For example, when we were doing last year, was it last year? It was this year when we were at Kusa Women's Championship at USIU. A student from Kenyatta University called Felista Gasheri, who also plays for the national team, scored with 1 3 times. And she managed to beat a stiff competitor from Mount Kenya University. Imagine scoring 3 times with 1. Yosi Bahati, that means she took his time. So I will tell a player, anytime you play on the fairway, like Steve is the national team's captain. Like the national team's captain has said, you ensure you concentrate. So closer to the gate is when you reduce the energy, but far away from the gate, that's where you use a lot of energy. Then reduce every time you go out. We call it the out of bounds. Because anytime you go out, when you've played your first stroke, then you go out, you will come and measure 2 mallet heads from the point of exit. This is the mallet head. So you measure 1 and 2 back to the field of play. But now you are not playing 2, but you're playing 3. When you go out again, you will not play 4, but you play 5. And imagine you're playing 12, because maximum for any fairway, you hit 12 times. That is the maximum. So if I have 312, that means I have 36. When my opponent from Taiwan is scoring with 1 3 times. So how will I capture the deficit? So that is how WoodBall is played.
Well, yes. Thank you very much, Stephen Wandwa, he's a coach, and also we've got, Titus Mboya, and I just want to ask the Secretary General here, Samuel Lituba, and he's mentioned about the equivalent of a hole-in-one in golf. So, in golf, when you do a hole-in-one, it comes with marupurupu ya kwa wenzako. What comes around with this?
Yeah, with WoodBall it is similar, but normally for the higher competitions, when we have the World Cups and World Championships. So that's the time they give something, but only for one fairway, not for all fairways. They normally choose one fairway which they know it's difficult to score with one. Yeah, so that's the one where they give something. They give $500. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now taking a look at it, what's been mentioned, I know you work with Kenyatta University. We've also had one mention about Mount Kenya University. Now, let's talk about how this sport has come in from, let's start with the universities. How has it taken root?
I think the sport is, in fact, strongest among the universities. It's recently, about 2 years ago, that we started introducing clubs. Yeah, because buying the equipment is expensive, but universities are willing to buy the equipment and also to sponsor their teams for competition. Mm-hmm. So the universities have embraced the game and are playing it all over Kenya. We have universities at the coast playing, TUM, Taita Taveta, we have Maseno, Masinde Muliro, we have Mount Kenya University, Kenyatta University, Meru is also playing the game. Yeah, so we have several universities that are playing the game, St. Paul's University, and there are others that are joining us this season, Daystar University, and so on, and USIU. So all those universities are playing the game, JKUAT. And so at the university level, it is very strong. The game is strong, it is growing. We have played both Kenya University sports games. We have also played East Africa University games. The first one we played was in Tanzania. This year, we are also going to play in Uganda, the East Africa University Games. We also played in Kenya when Kenya hosted for the East Africa University Games. Yeah, so at the university level, the game is very strong. It is continuing to grow. People are showing interest in the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we are doing well there. But for the club level, we are now building the base for the clubs. We have 2 main clubs in Kenya, but other clubs will come up. We are encouraging those who finish university, wherever they go, they start a team. Yes.
Which are the clubs that you've engaged at the moment?
Now we have 2 clubs. We have Taifa, which I play for. Sorry, the second one, Titus will give you the name.
Yeah, Titus, you could give us the name of the second club. There's Taifa, the other name of the club?
Zeal WoodBall Club.
Zeal WoodBall, yes. So those are the 2
Where are
clubs.
they located?
Pardon?
Where is Taifa located?
They are both in Nairobi. Yeah, so Taifa operates from Kenyatta University.
Okay.
And then Zeal, they have no particular place, but they use the different fields where they're able to play. Kenyatta University and other places where they're able to train, yes. Yeah.
Oh, and now this is now where I now come in. When it comes to the formats of the competitions, first of all, let's take a look at the singles competitions. How this actually, even before I come to that, how much land is required for you to have a proper 12 fairways?
For the 12 fairways, you just need 1 football field. Yeah, that is enough for all the 12 fairways. And then now you're able to sort out your straight fairways, your curved fairways, and so on. There's one that is curved. It's actually a V, but a wide V. Yeah, so you come from this end to that end. Yeah, some people are able to play and curve the ball so that it goes round and goes close to the gate. Yeah, so all you need is 1 football field, and you can put your 12 fairways. Yes.
Now, the other thing that I would like to do is, and I'm coming shortly to you, Titus, and also Stephen, so that you could take us through the do's and don'ts when it comes to WoodBall, especially how handling the equipment and things are not allowed. Is types of competitions. Take us through the singles, the doubles, and the team competitions.
Yes, so we have the singles, but the singles is also part of the team competition, because you play as an individual. Of course, you'll be awarded as an individual if you're among the top 3. Then the best 4 in the team score for the team. Yeah, so while you're playing the singles, you're also playing the team event. Yeah, that is now for the stroke competition. Stroke is each time you hit the ball, the stroke is counted. But then there's another style of playing which we call the fairway. Fairway now is how many fairways have you won?
Now that is very much similar to match play in golf.
Yes.
So I win if I do 5 strokes on this fairway, and by the time you do 5, you haven't scored.
Yeah,
I have the fairway.
You have the fairway. Okay. Yes. So that is the fairway competition, and it's normally a knockout competition. So everyone starts off, and then people keep knocking each out until they reach the finals. And for leagues, especially leagues, we prefer to use the fairway. It is an easier way of keeping scores for the league.
And when it comes to the stroke competition, those who completed 12 fairways or it's multiple fairways with the lowest strokes, then, because that's why I want to come to the singles competitions, have you reached that level where you can run singles alone? If I decide to pick up the sport and I play against Stephen Titus or against you?
Yeah. So you can play as an individual. Of course, you'll do your 12 fairways. I will also come do my 12 fairways because we don't release all the teams at the same time. Normally, we release 4 players at a go. So 4 players go. Once they move to the next fairway, the next group is released. Yeah, so that way there's no collision on the field of play. Yeah, but now you go there, you play as an individual, you can be awarded as an individual. But as I've already said, that apart from playing as an individual, you can also play as a team.
Yes. Now let's come to the team competition. How does this work?
So with the team competition, everyone will play individually. What we do is we try to separate the players. You don't all from one institution or one club play in the same fairway. So we look for people from different institutions or different clubs. Player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, from different clubs. Then they play in that fairway. But then at the end of the day, your score, as maybe if you are Zeal Football Club, WoodBall Club. So your scores will be considered and put together with all the other scores from your team. And the best 4, the total is added. Whoever has the lowest total is the winner, just the way you do it in cross country. So whoever has the lowest total is the winner.
So that means that if it's 12 of them, so if I'm averaging 4 per fairway, that means that's
48.
That is 48. And then, so if my teammate has 44, another one 56, another one 60, another one 75, you take the 44, 48,
you add them all together.
The lowest score wins.
The lowest score, the team now with the lowest score will win. Yes.
And what are the restrictions when it comes to the number of players in a team?
Normally, the team, you can register 6 players, a maximum of 6.
That is
for the team event. Yes, and even for the singles, depending on the competition, some competitions are open. You can bring as many players as you want. But where there are many teams, they restrict the numbers. So totally 6 players for men and 6 for women. Yeah, on each category. So you may have juniors, you may have seniors. So the juniors will play 6, and then the seniors will play 6. Then we also have the corporate, like you and me now. So those who are in the corporate world working, those ones also have their own category. Yeah, the corporate category. So again, you have 6 players.
Okay. Yes. Well, looks like we need more people at Taifa so that we just don't go to the corporate side. I know it's more cost effective from a playing perspective. Yeah,
but we need a KBC team.
Okay. Well, we need a football field, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to Iraq because this is very easy. And let me just go back to our demonstration side of the studio, and this is where we've got Stephen Wendwa and Titus Mboya. And Titus, let me start with this. The do's and the don'ts with the equipment. Let's start there.
Okay. So with WoodBall, one thing that is not allowed in the field are high heels. You need to be in a sports attire, like you can see myself. This is a very good fit attire for WoodBall. And anytime you are allowed to play, because anytime the mallet head just gets in contact with the ball, that's already a stroke. So trial and error is not allowed in WoodBall.
Okay, just a question. You've mentioned about the dress code. what kind of shoes are allowed? Because I know, for example, in golf, they won't allow you to have heels of any nature.
Yeah.
For example, the shoes I have on would not be allowed on the course, on the greens, so to speak. Jeans are not allowed on the course.
Yeah.
So I would need to be in some outfit, and amongst other things, I must be tucked in. So,
Yes.
sio kuvaa tu ni kama naenda style free.
Yeah, WoodBall.
Kienyeji.
WoodBall is a sister to golf. So most all you've noticed that all the rules from golf apply in WoodBall, and you are very correct. You're not allowed to wear any type of shoes but sport shoes alone. So no high heels, no jeans, no. You are not going for a party specifically sportswear. Yes, so that is rule number one. And especially when the game is beginning, so you will find there is a referee, the chief referee, who gets to look at the type of equipment you are having, so that if it's a ball, it should be having a logo. Mine here is a bit faint, but it shows We Who King, because the guy who started WoodBall was called Mr. Wayne. So you must have this logo on. This shows this ball is standard. So you need now, as a sportsman, you need to invest in that type of quality that is needed for type of equipment needed. So when you play,
let's come to the mallet, because there are also then an inspection will also be done on the mallet.
Yeah.
What do they look for?
This is an aluminium mallet, but we also have a wooden mallet. So we will want first to see the status. You see, it still has the logo. It still has the logo. Even these other ones have the logo. So it means that it's fully certified. When you go to play in the World Cup or any other international competitions, no other equipment are allowed to be used, but except those that have the logos. Even the wooden ones have the logos. And that is why it becomes hard to spread the game, because one, you need the right equipment, which are not affordable. The SG can tell you the challenges that we go through in acquiring the equipment.
Okay, as we take a look at the mallet, just for clarity, I mean, you can hold it up to our camera there so that it can be seen, such that that dark part doesn't look like it's tape that's on it.
Yeah, we have the tape to help us also maintain, because this is an extension of the mallet and the rubber. So, because we play WoodBall for too long, there's a time we go to training at Kenyatta University, at USIU, at Jomo Kenyatta, Meru University, and then we play from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So you also have to, since you acquired this from your own sweat, you also have to take care of your equipment. There was a suggestion the last time we had the workshop in Uganda for it was the first Africa WoodBall workshop, where we will be having several equipment, just like golf, where you need to play a longer fairway, a longer shot, you need a specific mallet, and a shorter one, you need another mallet. But before we reach there, we are encouraging players to maintain their equipment in order. That's why you see, like, all of mine have the rubber. So, I mean, have the tape. The tape is just to maintain the equipment. But when you get a brand new one, it doesn't have the tape. In fact, you are the one fixing the rubber when it comes from the box when you buy.
So it just comes, it's something, it's aluminium or wooden,
Yes.
and then you fix the rubber at the top.
Yes.
That rubber is part of the package.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on.
So the do's and the don'ts, normally when we are playing WoodBall, we have 4 players playing on that fairway at a go. So you'll find player number 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you play the game, when starting, you start with an order. You will find player number 1 is supposed to start and not number 2. So assuming the referee says play and it's not your turn to play, you should be keen so that you play at the right time. Then we play in the order. The one who, after everyone has started at the tee off, the one who is far away during that is stroke and also fair competition plays first. So anytime on the fairway, you are not allowed to walk on the fairway unless you are using it. Because, one, to avoid injuries. Because imagine if I have hit my ball to go 100 meters away and then it hits you. So one, to avoid the injuries, you only use the fairway, walk on the fairway while using it. And then always talk with the referee when you're playing. Because when the referee, in his wisdom, because on each fairway there is a referee, he can decide who plays next. Because you already know that you are the one supposed to be playing, then you decide to, but the referee tells you otherwise, then you should just follow the rules of play. Then as you play, anytime you get outside, we call it the out of bounds. WoodBall is funny. My ball can get outside, let's say at 10 meters. Then it goes out, then it comes back to the field. Don't go and play where the ball is. Return back to the point of exit and measure 2 mallet heads. It's to any radius back to the field. Then
Okay, let me just get that.
Yes.
So, with one stroke, the ball rolls, goes out of bounds, say 10 meters away,
Yes.
rolls back in 5 meters later.
Yes.
I'm supposed to go back to the 10-meter point.
Yes, the first point of exit. That's where you get back, and then you measure the 2 mallet heads, and you place the ball.
That is on the out of bounds point.
Yeah, on the out of bounds. And we also have a linesman who help, because sometimes a ball can hit outside just a micro or a millisecond, then it gets back. So unless you're also keen, because anytime, for example, you've had that fairway that has a tee where you score with 1, and then my ball, I have hit the ball, let's say, to score on a fairway that is 100 meters. Then it just steps outside once and then gets back and then scores. If you are not keen, and also the linesman, I will defend my ball and say it didn't go outside. So also the players, their work is not just to play, but also to ensure they also look at the way the game is played. Normally, there's a time we were in a competition in Uganda. Then what happens is this: anytime you have scored, the referee will read your scores. He will tell you success at 10, or let me say he will tell you success at 3, but he writes you've scored with 10. So you know what happens also in sports. We have those guys who are not with the sportsmanship. So ensure every time you finished each fairway, check the scores. If I tell you success with 2 and I have written 10, then I keep telling you so how will you check at the last time? What I always tell players, after every fairway you finished, ensure you check your scores, because there's a time you will sign. After you've signed, you can't go and say these are not my scores. Yes.
Now, let me come to you, Stephen. When you are a player, you represent the country, how do you keep the cards? From all the conversations, there's so much similar to golf here. In golf, if I was playing with the general secretary here, I would give him my card, and he would have, and I would have his card. I would mark each other's cards as that happens. How does it happen in a competition?
As Coach Mboya said, we usually have a referee. The referee is the one who marks. The player, the work of a player is to play. Then our coach, there's something he has left out. When you score, for example, in this gate, score, coach.
I hope I'll score.
Yeah, you can score. You have to make sure you hold the glass back to its position. Don't use the mallet. If you use the mallet, you are going to be penalized.
What's
but
the
due
penalty,
to
a stroke?
Yeah, that's a success. We called it a success because he has scored. Now, because of the COVID-19, we have embraced to use our leg and hold it back to normal. That's something we have introduced because of the COVID-19. Then, as I was saying, the referee, if you score and you just leave the gate while swinging, you are penalized. Like the referee can decide to penalize you 2 strokes or 3. So for the game, referee does everything. Our work is just to play.
Now, the other thing that I want to ask you, Stephen, is we very well know that, if you've got this fairway, there is the chance of you striking the ball, say if you're looking for the 130-yard drive, there's a chance you might flight the ball. What are the rules when it comes to this? Is it rolling the ball permanently, like in the style of croquet, or can you flight the ball, like in golf?
Yeah, when we come to playing the ball, we just have your own techniques. It can fly. You can hit the ball, hit the ground, fly. But as long as it's maintained in the ropes, which we call them the fairway, you are on right track. So it depends on your techniques. There is a technique of just hitting the ball, of which when it hits any obstacle, it's going to get out. But for these long courses, we spin. We do spinning. Spinning, we hit the ball. We hit the ball this way. It goes round. If it touches the rope, the ball won't get out of the rope.
Aha.
Yeah, that's a technique for playing those long fairways. For short, it is energy now. If we are playing short, we have L and we have V. And for L, for you to be a champion in L, you have to score with minimum of 4. We just do 4 because it can go to OB. OB is out of bounds. So for L, we do the regulating your energy, the mode of eating, depending on the meters of the L, letter L. Then the other rule is when you come to near, we have another set. How to set the ball for you to score easily. For example, in here.
Well, actually, Stephen, let's have that as a last example as to how you set the ball to score.
My ball have played it up here. From here, this point, I cannot score. We use a V rule. V rule says away from the gate, either this side or this side.
Aha.
So I will set V. And I'm going to play where the ball stops. Then from there, now I go and try to score. Now I've missed. So this is a technique. We set the ball for you to score easily. Bearing in your mind that the minimum score, you'll be the winner.
All right.
So the way I said at the beginning, it's a game of mind.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Stephen Wendwa. He is a WoodBall player together with Coach Titus Mboya for telling us it's all about how you keep this. And thank you, for the demonstrations and all of that. And as we close, General Secretary Lituba.
Yes.
A call to people who would like to pick up the sport.
Yeah, we really want people to play the sport. As I said earlier, the sport is for all ages. So children can play the sport, grown-ups can play the sport, old people can play the sport. When we go to play in Taiwan, the home of WoodBall, we play against 75-year-olds. And they beat us. They are good with the game, yeah. So we want everyone to join the game of football. As our coach and treasurer Titus Mboya always says, he wants all homes in Kenya to play the game of WoodBall. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Samuel Lituba, Secretary General WoodBall Kenya. We have the treasurer of WoodBall Kenya, who's also a national team player, Titus Mboya, and Stephen Wendwa, who's the treasurer, and Coach Titus Mboya. They have been with us and with a demonstration about this sport that is a mix of polo, golf, croquet, bowling. You think of it, and it's accessible for everyone. Thank you very much.